Okay, I think we are live. Live. Yes, we are. Okay. Let's see if we can get a couple people in here real quick. Let me share out the link. Let's see. We are live. We are live. Gotta wait for my guy to post the link. Got some viewers rolling in here. We love to see it. We love to see that. We're gonna get started in a few. We're gonna be talking about, some NBA, some live NBA scores, NFL playoff stuff. Got some packs to open live on the stream. Hopefully, the stream, we can bless up right here. There's gonna be some comments for some Discord stuff that you guys can join as well. Just waiting a couple minutes to see, some people come in, and then we'll dig right in. All right. What do we have going on in NBA tonight? Celtics, Raptors. Okay. 76ers and the Magic are in a close one. Damn, that stinks. Pelicans and Wizards, Clippers, Nets, Grizzlies, Thunder. Looks like the Knicks and the Suns and the Hawks and the Nuggets are going to start while we're on this live. Kings, Warriors, Rockets, Blazers. We're loaded tonight. Bucks, Lakers at 10:30. Try to stretch it to then. All right. Got some more people coming in. Love to see it. Let's do it. Let's load up. This is a great opportunity to be a part of. I'm thankful. All right. I'm going to share this out, and then we're going to start. Yeah, we do. We got a full slate of games tonight. Very interesting games, too. Currently, the 76ers and the Magic locked 65-63. Definitely going to dig into that shortly. Let's do it. We got some people coming in. Yeah, my bad. I know I look a little bit scruffy. It's it's getting tough out here. As we get deeper into the winter, I try to keep long hair because the how the saying goes, the more hair you have, the less cold that you'll be. So I try. But all right, so I got this shared out here. Cool. I think we're ready to dig in. So welcome to Collectin and Connectin. It's Friday night. As Paulie mentioned it in the chat, it is Friday night. Pleasure to be here. Pleasure for to be a part of this opportunity. Paulie has a bunch of people streaming here weekly. So make sure you guys subscribe. Like this, get this out there because this is a very great opportunity. For a lot of us to be a part of. So thank you, Paulie, for that. For those of you that don't know me, I am the host of A Different Conversation. So basically what we do is we do a podcast, show kind of thing where we talk football, we talk basketball, we talk everything life, we talk everything different. So make sure you guys look us up, especially if you like what's going on here in the stream. So like I said, we are going to be, just talking about some, basketball. If any comments, if any of you guys have any questions or if anyone wants to pop a comment in the chat, I will gladly answer the comment and stop everything to answer those comments. But until then, we're gonna look through some NBA games, talk the NFL playoffs. By the time this is over with, I'm gonna be opening some packs. Like I said, we're looking to get blessed here live on the stream. We'll do a giveaway if we pull anything. Why not? We'll see what goes on. Anything that I pull, the next stream that I'm on, we will give away live on that chat. So yeah, with that being said, let's dig in here. Let me share my screen. And yeah, I mean, so let's start right off with the Boston Celtics. I mean, they are absolutely terrorizing the league this year. Right now, they're actually dominating the Raptors. Let's look into the box score here. I mean, okay, Raptors definitely missing some guys. Jaylen Brown doing his thing. 17, 6, and 5. Jaylen Brown's been a blessing. I mean, we could start right there with Jaylen Brown. I mean, this dude is absolute. I mean, for a guy that has won Finals MVP, you would think that he wouldn't still be, as underrated as he is, but he's still very underrated. And this year should prove everything. I mean, Jason Tatum's out. They kind of lessened the team as kind of a retool. Like they didn't do a full rebuild in the offseason. But they retooled. They traded some guys. They didn't really stock up too much. And for Jaylen Brown to be doing what he is doing this season, I think he deserves a lot more credit. He's leading this team. I mean, obviously you got Derek White out there contributing, Peyton Pritchard taking another step. That all that's great. All the role players, the depth of coaching, good. But Jaylen Brown's playing at an MVP level, and I do think he definitely deserves more love for the MVP. I mean, look at these numbers right here on the screen. 20 almost averaging like Jaylen Brown almost averaging 30 points per game is not a sentence that I thought I would say this year. I knew he would have, some good games, but 30 points per game is absolutely ridiculous. 6 rebounds per game, 5 assists per game. And like I said, this is coming from a guy that, no one really expected to, carry the load there in Boston. But yeah, they're absolutely decimating the Raptors right now. It's not pretty. 91-73 out there. So it looks like the 76ers actually got some, headway against the Magic right now. Let's see what's going on over there. The 76ers they're pulling away a little bit. It's been close most of the game. Paul George is out there, shooting a great 3 for 12. Embiid a great 5 for 14. Maxey a great 6 for 17. How are they winning? Okay. I mean, geez. That is awful. And Paolo's putting up another stinker. Desmond Bain. Okay, yeah. So this probably ain't as fascinating of a game as I thought. That's crazy. I did not think it was. I did not think it was that rough. Oh my God, they're trading bricks for bricks out there. What is going on? Jeez. All right, we'll leave that game alone for now. Pelicans absolutely beating the brakes off the Wizards, I guess. Zion's doing his thing, 24, 3 and 3. I really hope Zion, instead of being Quagmire, let's get that advertisement off the screen. Instead of being Quagmire, I would like Zion to actually start doing stuff in this league. I mean, every time he steps on the court, you can see the talent is there, obviously, without a doubt. He just needs to play, man. I really do think that they can, not they, but I think he can make some noise once he gets out of New Orleans. If he can go to a team that'll actually, make him do stuff, make him be a top player in the league, I think he'll be okay. I mean, he lost a bunch of weight. I think he put the burgers down. He didn't put the models down, but he put the burgers down. I think the models is the next step. But when it comes to the Pelicans, I mean, they're just a rebuilding team, unfortunately. Jordan Poole, I mean, he's still there. Is he playing tonight? No, he's not. He's not even playing tonight. But Trey Murphy doing this. I wonder where Trey Murphy's actually going to be traded to. That's actually an interesting thing. Because he's a phenomenal player. What's he averaging this year? Oh my God, he's averaging 21 points per game, 6 rebounds, 3 assists. Yeah, any team would love to have him. He's young. Free agency going to hit, but it is what it is. What's up, everyone? Oh, so we got 25 viewers. That's what's up. How's everybody doing out there tonight? Just talking some basketball. Going to be talking some football here eventually. Any questions that you guys got in the chat? Let's talk it up. Clippers beating up on the Nets. Nets don't even have a player at 10 points, it looks like. Yep, nope. Nets, I mean, I like their rookies, I guess. Some of them are showing something. Michael Porter Jr., everyone was hyping him up recently. Averaging 26 and 7. That's cool. What about his percentages? What are his splits? Let's see. Yeah, I mean, He's still shooting decently. It's not like he's taking a step back. He's just on the Brooklyn Nets. That happened. We'll see where he goes too. He might get traded as well. But the Los Angeles Clippers, they've been a fine machine. They literally need to save the NBA. They don't need to be giving OKC a good draft pick. That trade, by the way, how much of a disaster was that trade for the Clippers? They could have had SGA. Instead, they traded an insane amount of assets to the OKC Thunder. And actually, that is what is literally their entire franchise. I'm not even gonna look up the trade, but their entire franchise, basically the Thunder, Jalen Williams, SGA, most of that had came from that trade with the Clippers, which is absolutely insane to me. Paulie asked who's winning the East. I mean, I don't. Hey, listen. I know I'm wearing an Eagles jersey, and I'm gonna sound very fraudulent to the 29 viewers that are in this chat, but I am an Eagles and a Knicks fan, and I'm gonna take the bias out. I still think the New York Knicks are winning the East. I don't know if they'll be the number one seed when it's all said and done, but I think they're gonna come out of the East and represent the Eastern Conference in the finals. I truly think that it's their year for the Knicks. I know they're kind of skidding a little bit. They've lost a couple games. Karl Anthony Towns hasn't looked the best this year. There's some rumors with some tension, but I think they'll figure it all out. That team, they have the chemistry. They've been through a lot together in the last couple of years. I think they'll pull it out. And Mike Brown, for what it's worth, I think he's perfect for New York. A lot of them have something to prove this year. A lot of them have experience in that locker room. And you consider the teams that Mike Brown has coached and faced up to this point. I get it. You can say what you want. He might not be, the greatest, flashiest coach that there has been in the league. But at the end of the day, he's perfect for New York, man. I mean, his mentality, love when it's needed, tough love when it's needed. I got the Knicks, man. I don't think there's nothing can stop the Knicks unless there's health. Because I mean, you look at the Magic; we're almost halfway through the season. They have not figured out their chemistry at all whatsoever. They have injuries here and there as well. Paulo hasn't taken the next step that a lot of people kind of expected him to take. And then at the end of the day, the Cleveland Cavaliers, the other big threat to that, they've kind of fallen apart almost entirely. It's kind of a joke what's going on in there in Cleveland. And then at the end of the day, you got the Detroit Pistons who are going to put up a fight. But hey, Knicks in 5. That's all I got to say about that. To who's winning the East. So let's go back over here to some scores, man. Oh my God. Hold on. So the Grizzlies are up by almost 20 on the Thunder. God, what is going on there? That's actually insane. Okay. Wow. John Morant not playing tonight. Jaren Jackson Jr. is doing his thing early. I kind of, I want to know how people. Oh wow, Cedric Howard has 5 rebounds. I kind of know. I want to know what people think about Jaren Jackson Jr. It's I don't know. I mean, a great defensive player, yeah. But I don't know. Offense, there's some stuff left to be desired. Let's look at his averages. 18, 5, and 2. This probably should have been a year where he, kind of increases those numbers, considering who's not on the team, who hasn't been playing this year as well. He's around a bunch of, younger players, of course, but, I want to know what people actually think about this guy at this point. I'm not saying he was a bust or anything. Obviously, defensive player of the year is nothing to scoff at. But Jaren Jackson Jr., man, I don't know. But hey, they're beating the Thunder right now. They must have the Thunder's number. They did beat the Thunder earlier too. So, Raptors, they're kind of making it a game. They're only down 11 here. What they got going on? Okay, RJ Barrett quickly are stepping up. Jamal Sheed's actually super underrated. I actually meant to mention that on my episode earlier. He's actually a decent second round pick, depth piece for them. They're trying to really figure out this team that they got going on, around them currently at the moment. It's been an interesting journey for the Toronto Raptors overall. So we're about 15 minutes in here. Let's see what else we got going on. And then, yeah, I know Paulie asked, who was winning the East, but I mean, over on the West side, that's a more interesting question about who's winning the West, because the Thunder, they're looking a little shaky. I ain't gonna lie. The Spurs, they put the blueprint out there to beat the Thunder, and teams are starting to try to take advantage of it. Shea, as much as you guys want to say that he's a free throw merchant, he hasn't been getting the calls that he should have, should be getting lately. That's a crazy sentence to say. But man, I don't know. The West, it's looking pretty. It's pretty stacked, and the Thunder, they're leaving the door open just at least a little bit. Like, gotta admit that they're leaving the door at least open a little bit, showing these teams what it takes to beat them. Obviously, teams ain't gonna go 82-0 in the season, but they've taken some decent losses. But who actually comes out of the West? I still think it's them. But I definitely, I would not ignore the Houston Rockets. I think Kevin Durant's comfortable. He's shooting great. I mean, let's. I want you guys to look into these stats because this man, Kevin Durant, just shows up. He balls. Mama, look at that man. He balls. Capital B balls. And I shouldn't be saying that too much. My bad. But looking at their roster here, pulling up his stats, like, please don't forget, like, that this man's been in the league for 18 years. He's 37. I am 27, and I already feel like I should be retired. This dude is 37, still making millions, still killing it in the league, averaging 26 points, 5 rebounds, and 4 assists per game. And the thing that's like crazy about it too is if you go, to his advanced splits, it should be here. Yeah, usage percentage. At 26% usage percentage, this is the lowest that he has been at for his entire career. His pace has been low. Everything has been, low, but at the end of the day, at the end of the very day, he's still putting up, some great numbers, 26, points per game, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, on 52% shooting. 89% free throw still. But the thing that I still want to point out is 40% from 3. And this is what the Houston Rockets absolutely need, is that they need that guy that can make shots in the clutch. That's why they traded Jalen Green. Jalen Green was terrible down the line trying to close games, terrible in the clutch. Kevin Durant has come in and has looked super comfortable for those guys out there. And man, I mean, just another crisp, clean, sharp, accurate, perfect year for Kevin Durant. It's wonderful to see. All right, let's see if we got anything going. All right. So we got 36 people in here. Okay. Watching me ramble on about some sports. Beautiful Friday night. I live in New York, so it's really not that beautiful. It's cold. It's been snowing on and off. It's been raining on and off. But we got the New York Knicks, and the New York Knicks are producing. And it's been great. I wonder how New York fans feel about Aaron Rodgers, seeing him make the playoffs with the Steelers like that. Everything that goes on with the Jets, that has to be sad. Very sad case. Like, the Jets, they gotta have their own. Like, I feel like they are the NFL's version of the Make-A-Wish Foundation, and I feel like the NFL they gotta bless the Jets with something, man. It's actually ridiculous how far this has gone. But yeah, where was I? Oh yeah, so we were talking about the West. The Lakers, they're still 5th, despite some of the embarrassing losses that they've had. The Timberwolves have been on a scorcher out of nowhere. They've won about 4 in a row now. But who comes out the West? Again, I still think it's the Thunder. But if Jokic comes back and he's still doing Jokic things, if that injury really doesn't, prevent him from, going back to being Jokic, I still think the Nuggets are a very well put together team, and they're very dangerous. When you talk about Cam Johnson, has he been, worse than Michael Porter Jr.? Yes, but his role is very, very defined, and I do think he's more consistent than Michael Porter Jr. And then at the end of the day, I think Jamal Murray loves that fit better than the Porter fit because, he's been producing this year. And then obviously Jokic is doing his thing. And the Nuggets are still winning without Jokic. That doesn't say anything bad about Jokic, but at the end of the day, it shows that they can get the job done. He's not the he's not the say all be all for that team. All right, so we got some comments in here. The pizza, my wife is making some homemade pizza tonight. By the way, I'm having cheese. She's having broccoli and cheddar. Sorry, but that was way off track. But the pizza in New York, man. If you guys don't live in New York, your pizza sucks. I'm sorry. That's really just what it comes down to when it comes down to the New York slice. Happy Friday, Chewy Wolf. Who's worse, Jets or Giants? I think the Jets are way worse, man. The Giants, they have their 2 Super Bowls that people can actually remember. No one remembers the Jets Super Bowl that they won. I don't even think there's any Jets fan alive that remembers that Super Bowl ring. When it comes to the Giants, I think that they've lapped the Jets at least a couple times now to building teams that can, at least perform in the playoffs. Because the Jets last had Mark Sanchez. The Giants, they rode the Eli Manning, they've rode that Eli Manning thing as far as they could, rode the Daniel Jones thing as far as they could, and now they got Jackson Dart. And I had said it, if anyone, like I said, a different conversation on YouTube, if anyone paid attention to any of my takes, I said that Jackson Dart would be good. He has a lot of good mentorship around him. I just think the Giants are a disaster. But if I had to pick a team that's going to get relevant faster, it might be the Giants because they already have Jackson Dart, who I do believe in. I heavily believe in him. And they do got some weapons in there. I just think they got to get some structure. It all comes from leadership. A lot of these teams, especially these young teams, they need that leadership. And I don't think Dable provided it, obviously, because he got fired. And then the Jets, they do have a lot of draft picks, but you got to see what they do with the draft picks. I think they got 6 draft picks in the next 2 years, 5 or 6, from the trades that they had made. And it's really just if they can actually draft good players. Because, I mean, they've struck out at quarterback how many times in a row now through the draft when you consider Zach Wilson, Sam Darnold, who else was there? Did they draft Geno Smith? I'm not sure if they drafted Geno Smith, but they have struck out a lot at quarterback. And one would assume that they're going to draft a quarterback in the draft this year. So they're going to have to hit on that pick, and they're going to have to hit on the rest of their picks, and they're going to have to build this up all over again after they had a good core. That's the thing that sucks with the New York Jets is they had a fantastic core. I marveled over the New York Jets core, and it just never happened. I mean, the Aaron Rodgers thing happened. He got hurt. It is what it is. But it stinks. And yeah, miserable Jets fan for life here. I'm sorry. Sorry to hear that, man. I think they should put in some people's insurances Jets fans so you can get extra coverage or something because it's not. I'm sorry, man. It's if you choose to be a fan of another team, I don't think anyone would, roast you or anything like that. Honestly, you have full permission of everybody in life if you want to get off the Jets bandwagon. I don't even know if it's a bandwagon, man. It's like a Matchbox car or whatever it is. I'm sorry. From me to you, I'm absolutely sorry that you're a Jets fan. But yeah, back to basketball. Unless anyone, has any more questions, I feel like I went too hard there. My bad. But with the West, yeah, I like the Nuggets. I really do think that team, what they've been through, the coaching that they have, what they've built, I do think they can contend with the Thunder when the time is right. But at the end of the day, it's really hard to predict the NBA, right? Because of all these injuries that happen. When you go back to Giannis winning the championship, that playoff alone was marred with injuries. When the Celtics won the championship, there was a lot of injuries involved in that too. There's always injuries, so you can't. It's really just whoever's the healthiest at the end of the day. And last year, the Thunder, they were extremely healthy at the right time. The Pacers, obviously, Tyrese Halliburton was not healthy in that series. And then, the Achilles injury that unfortunately preceded that moment. But it really just comes down to who's going to be healthiest at the right time. All this regular season stuff, it just is what it is. I think there's a lot of players that kind of do things so that they can just be ready for the playoffs when you consider all the injuries that do go around. But at the end of the day, I mean, it's kind of fool's gold. trying to predict what's going to happen. Because obviously, if you want to take the two best teams out of each conference, I think it's the Knicks and the Thunder for sure. But you know, will they be healthy when the time comes? That's definitely the biggest question there. So let's keep moving on in. Let's talk NFL. Well, hold on. Before we talk NFL playoffs, let's just quickly go back to some of these games that are here. So, yeah, the Raptors are continuing to close that gap on the Boston Celtics. 102.93 there. It seems like Jaylen Brown has gone a little cold, shooting 4 for 12. Well, that's a lot of cold. Peyton Pritchard, he's shooting the ball, 23 points. I mean, we'll see. I mean, that Raptors bench, they came in and they put up a fight. They got the Raptors right back into this game. Love to see that. This game, you know, it was like, and that's also been my problem with the Orlando Magic games this year is I want to tune in and see good games. That's just not what we've been seeing. And then the 76ers, I mean, you got Embiid, Paul George, and Maxey combining for some terrible percentage. I can't do math that quick, but they are not doing good. You know, Maxey's picked it up a bit. He was struggling in this game, but it seems like he's made a few shots in a row here to kind of improve that. And then the Magic, they're just it's tough out there. I mean, you know, Bane and Paolo, they can't really make their shots tonight, but they're still in the game. They're only down 8 because the 76ers are also struggling. So we'll see what goes on there. Man, such a terrible game. Trey Murphy got 30 points right now for the Pelicans. I wonder what I think he'll finish at like 34, 35. I mean, they're blowing them out, so this game, they're probably going to take those guys out soon. Grizzlies are still beating OKC, guys. Grizzlies are still beating OKC. I wonder when they're going to trade Ja Morant. I've been waiting for that. That's actually one of the things that I wanted to talk about. I want to see who you guys would like to see Ja Morant getting traded to. Not to necessarily where you think, because I think there's, you know, a few obvious destinations. And I think one of those destinations that makes sense is the Miami Heat. Ja Morant, he needs some direction. He needs someone to tell him like, hey, you know, you're fucking up. Get back to doing what you do best, which is, you know, playing basketball and inspiring the world. He needs that. I don't think he gets that in Memphis. I think he's way too comfortable in Memphis. And I think if he's going to go somewhere and reach that top player status again, I think it would be in Miami. And that's the thing. I'm glad Miami did not buckle and get Trae Young, because when you get a player like Trae Young, you have to change your whole everything around him. Ja Morant is someone that could go into that fast-paced Miami Heat offense, and he could instantly, you know, provide without you having to change the offense much. And what that adds is, listen, I know Davion Mitchell, he is averaging a lot of assists per game this year at the end of the day. But Ja Morant, I do think, has higher IQ when he's fully motivated and on the court. I think he has the better IQ, and obviously we know what he can do on the scoring end of the ball. But, you know, I'm just glad that the Heat didn't get Trae Young. I think that would have been terrible. That's my fit for Trae Young. The healthy Knicks just lost by 30 to the Pistons, and they are 4 games back. Just saying, and that's fair. That is a very fair point. But like I said, at the end of the day, if we're going to talk a 7-game series, I'll take the Knicks. One, they beat the Pistons last year. The Pistons would have home court advantage this time around if you know, everything obviously ended the way that it is today. But at the end of the day, I just think, you know, that Knicks offense is going to be way too overwhelming for the Pistons when the time comes, over a 7-game stretch as well. I love JB Bickerstaff and what he has done over there in Detroit. I think it would go to 7, though. I'm not saying, I know I jokingly said Knicks in 5, but I do think it would go to 7. That would be a great series, though. I would love to see that series. I think it would be physical. We need that. We need physical basketball back in our lives. I think it would be physical. There would still be, you know, some decent fast-paced action. I just think at the end of the day, I think the Knicks would absolutely overwhelm the Pistons. But we'll see. I mean, you could be right. I love the Pistons. I think Cade Cunningham is absolutely having, you know, a season. He should be, you know, in some MVP talks eventually. Do we have an MVP recent ladder? What am I doing here? Do we have an MVP ladder? Do we? 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 Ah, whatever. I'll still look at. I mean, he's 12th in points per game, so 26, 6, and just about 10 assists. Yeah, I mean, I would put him on my NBA first team. I mean, he's amazing. So if you're a Pistons fan, man, you got a lot to look forward to. It's great to see. So yeah, let's see who else is in there. Who else is out there? What you guys got to say? All right. Okay, so let's look back at the games. Raptors, they've come back. They're actually making it interesting. Okay. See a play-by-play here. Jaylen Brown with the dunk. Okay. Sam Hauser going off, 19 points. All right, you love to see it. Sam Hauser closing the game. The Raptors are on their tail, though. Will be an interesting finish. Some we definitely got the time to see how that goes. All right. 76ers finally pulling away from the Magic. The Wizards making a little comeback. Just a little comeback. Recently got Trae Young. They're a little excited. Love to see it. Grizzlies still up. See if we can get a refresh there. All right. And the Hawks and Nuggets eventually starting. Knicks and Suns eventually starting. How do the Sacramento Kings work out of the basement? I have an easy answer for you. It's that they don't, man. I just the Sacramento Kings are their basketball is hell, man. It's not good. When you consider everything that's kind of happened over the last 26 years with the Sacramento Kings, how much talent that's gone through there that they haven't been able to develop, no matter what combination they put together, players, staff, front office, everything, it's not working. I think what ultimately needs to happen with the Sacramento Kings is they need a new owner to get in there, kind of, strip the franchise clean. Like, even if you got to do, if you have to go ahead and rebrand the team, move the city, move it, change the colors, change the underwear, change the socks. You have to do like everything has to change. It all has to be recycled, or not recycled, just thrown away. Throw it away. Don't even recycle it. Throw it away. I don't think there's honestly a way that the Kings just work. I mean, we've seen it. I mean, they put together a team as recently as a couple of years ago that made the playoffs, and they should have beat those Warriors then, and they didn't. But yeah, but they have the beam though. You know what I mean? That's cool. They have the beam. We'll see. I like Keegan Murray. Um, it, it's I don't know, because like you have to, like, you saw that Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan really didn't work in Chicago, but they thought for some reason putting them together in Sacramento was a good idea, unless it was a tank move. I don't know, but this team that they have put together now just makes no kinds of sense. I feel bad for Christie, their head coach, because he wants to win. He wants to make Sacramento proud, but it's not happening. I'm sorry, man. Damn, so we had a Jets fan in the chat and a Kings fan in the chat. That is actually insane. What a night that we're having here on Collected and Connected. Make sure that you guys subscribe to Collected and Connected, because like I said, great things that are going on right now, giving people a chance to come on and stream. There's a nice group of us that are, doing this, and it's fun so far. Let's see what else we got. Who is getting the most votes from each conference for the All-Star game? Let's look into that. NBA All-Star voting. Ooh, I could pick my All-Stars right here on chat. All right, let's see. Who would I have in the West? Well, obviously Shea, Luka. Man, Jokic got hurt though. I mean, Ant's averaging 29. Huh. This is where it gets good. Who deserves to be an all-star starter out of these gentlemen? It's crazy. I mean, Victor's only averaging 24. Can't put Victor in there. Oh, this is interesting. This is good. Okay. So we got three, though. Luka, Shea, and Anthony Edwards from the West here. If I had to put another two in, what's the word on Jokic? What is the word on Jokic? Hold on. Let me actually, I'm sharing the wrong screen. Put my ugly mug back up there. All right, now we're back. So yeah, I got Luka, Shea, and Ant. That's a good start for those three. Jokic, though, I'm wondering, what has his injury progression be? Anxious to return to the team. Okay. I mean, but he's put up ridiculous numbers, so we got to go with him. And even though the Clippers have been really bad, do we put Kawhi in? Do we put Steph in? Dang, Lowry's averaging 28 and 7 for the Jazz. Austin Reeves stealing the hearts of everybody. Does he get in? Oh man, this is good. You know what? I'll give it to the old guy. I'll give it to Kevin Durant. Why not? Sorry, everybody. I gotta give a vote to Kevin Durant. So that we'll go with those five. So I got Shea, Luka, Anthony Edwards, Jokic, and Kevin Durant. And then over in the East, yeah, clear as day. I talked about him earlier. Jaylen Brown deserves the nod. Tyrese Maxey has been playing out of his mind. He should be getting some MVP, love, because not only does he shoot a lot and score a lot, he also does it accurately, and it's such a lost art in the NBA. He does it very, very accurately. So who else can we throw in there? Obviously Giannis. Well, not so hot. He got hurt, didn't he? Cade, and I would have to pick between Donovan Mitchell and Brunson. I'm gonna take Giannis away because he got hurt, and I think these two guys are deserving. And that would be that right there would be my Eastern or Western Conference All Stars. I know Kevin Durant's probably the wrong choice in this. I probably should have taken Steph. It is what it is, but that's what I got for that. Who's getting the most votes? Can I look at that? Let's see. Okay, so Luka and Giannis are leading. Obviously 2 million votes each. I can see it. Man, foreign players have taken the league by storm. Who would have thought? Who would have thunk it? The beam does need electricity, man. Sacramento, they need something. They need Elon Musk to purchase the team or something. Because it's running bad out there, man. I almost ended the stream. Okay, let me unshare the screen. Let's talk about the NFL playoffs. Let me get that screen ready for you guys. But yeah, we got some people here. We got about 63 people in there. Thank you guys for joining this stream. Hope you guys are enjoying the random sports banter here. Talking NBA, the NFL playoffs. We're gonna be opening some packs. So with this, like I said, if we pull anything crazy on this stream, we will be on the next stream giving that away to whoever comes in, and we'll run a little contest with it. I'm Thomas from A Different Conversation. Make sure you guys look that up too, and make sure you guys subscribe to Collectin and Connectin. It's literally what it's about: collecting and connecting, bringing great minds together, and obviously, collecting as we go. Why don't you guys, if anyone's out there, post on the live in the comments, what is a recent thing that you have collected lately? Let's see what you guys got. Let's see if that could spark any conversation. But until then, let's look at the NFL playoff picture, playoff bracket. All right. Let's see what we got. Share the screen. Going right over to the NFL. All right. So, I mean, and I made the post on X. When it comes to the Broncos and the Seahawks, the thing I most find interesting about them being the number one seeds is that literally 3 years ago, if you said that Sean Payton would eventually be a number one seed again and that Sam Darnold would be the quarterback of a number one seed, I would have thought you were out of your mind. That I did not expect it. Even in before the season was here, I had my eye on the Seahawks, but I did not expect the Seahawks to be the number one seed or the Broncos to be the number one seed. So it's been incredible seeing how these stories have taken place. But when we look at the bracket itself, the Buffalo Bills and the Jacksonville Jaguars, that is going to be a crazy game. That is actually the one game that I really can't give a fully confident prediction in, and the reason being is because Josh Allen, this is his chance, this is his moment. Everything makes sense if he is this MVP, if he is this big game Josh Allen that everyone cracks him up to be. He should be able to get to the Super Bowl here. And I get it, whatever. If you want to give him the excuse that he doesn't have a team around him, I would say, look, he's going to be facing the Jacksonville Jaguars first, right? And then when you look at it, he would if the Bills are to beat the Jaguars, they would automatically face the Broncos, and then they would face the last remaining out of the Chargers, the Patriots, the Texans, and the Steelers. If there is 1 year for Josh Allen to go to the Super Bowl, it's gonna be facing the Jaguars, the Broncos, and whoever comes out of those other four. If he can't do it, I'm sorry, he's not the best quarterback in the league. It is what it is. At that point, I mean, we would still have to look at Patrick Mahomes as the best quarterback in the league. But this is Josh Allen's chance to kind of get ahead in that regard. But when it comes to the actual game, man, the Jaguars, they bring a lot of good energy, man. Cohen came in there. Duval. We all thought it was bad. We all thought he was a clown. But at the end of the day, it's just it's a good environment. They've built a very healthy, continually good environment there in Jacksonville. Trevor Lawrence looks comfortable for the first time in his career. So I really do think the Jaguars should win this game. But like I said, if Josh Allen's what he's cracked up to be, he'll win this game, right? We'll see what happens. Kenny was asking about Igor Demon of the Nets when you go back to the NBA. Listen, man, Igor Demon, he is actually a very decent player. He's the one player that I wanted to look at out of all the crazy first-round picks that the Nets had and who they took. I like Igor Demon, yeah. I don't get around to watching too many Nets games. I don't even think Nets fans get around to watching too many Nets games. But when it comes down to it, man, this is you can tell this stream is lit because we took a deep dive into the Sacramento Kings, the New York Jets, and the Brooklyn Nets. I did not think that doing this stream that I would be talking about the Jets, the Nets, or the Kings. I'm like, this is crazy. But yeah, no, I think, yeah, Igor, he's good. I like him. He's cool. He's invited to the cookout. I would invite him to my cookout. I think he's good business. He's definitely good. But when we go back to football, so like I said, I think the Jaguars, I mean, they're at home. I think they're a better team than the Buffalo Bills. I think right now, as it's currently running, I think Trevor Lawrence is running circles around Josh Allen's performance the last few games. So we'll see. But yeah, no, yeah, Igor, his passion is in, like he puts his all. You could tell that he's definitely earned his spot and how far he's gotten this far in the NBA. He's definitely earned it. He's definitely a grind, type of guy. But yeah, so the Chargers and the Patriots now, initially looking at this game, I did lean towards the Chargers because I felt like maybe the Patriots would choke under the lights. But at the end of the day, when it comes down to it, I do think the Patriots are going to pull this out. They're going to be at home. It's going to be a crazy environment. This is like the first, Patriots playoff game in a while since, the one Thomas Brady was out there quarterbacking for them. So, when at the end of the day, when it comes down to that, Drake May, he's a baller. I think, they faced a lot of pressure over the second half of the season because they got off to such a good start off to such a good start, you have to remember that when it comes down to the New England Patriots, they face that pressure. They've down the stretch, like remember he's in these MVP talks. Like Drake May is in actual MVP talks. He has the Bills one game behind him most of the season, and he's out there winning. He's out there being consistent. He's out there slinging the football. I think he's going to come out calm in this first round matchup. I think the second round matchup, if it is the Texans or the Steelers or whoever it is, I think that might be a little bit more pressure, a little bit more, the lights might be bright. But at the end of the day, I think that this definitely favors Drake May and the New England Patriots for sure. Justin Herbert, I don't know if he's 100% yet. But that's another thing. I mean, the Chargers, Harbaugh and them boys out there, they're going to put up a fight. And I wouldn't be surprised if they win either. It's a very good football team that they have put together. I just think the Patriots, they're an insane football team though. Like Vrabel, that dude, man, that is a coach. That is a leader of men right there. So I got the Patriots in that one. Trevor Lawrence over Josh Allen right now. Hell yeah, man. Trevor Lawrence he's total combined at what, like 50 touchdowns in the last couple games? No, but for real, in all honesty, Trevor Lawrence, man, like that's the thing. People like also got to remember that he has the experience and he's won a playoff game before as well. So he knows what it's like. He took Patrick Mahomes to his depths in that playoff run that they had when they came back against the Chargers. So we'll see. I mean, it would be cool to get a Chargers Jaguars rematch of that. The lore of that game would be fun. What up, Cart Pigs? How you doing tonight? Ben also said Pats don't play well against good teams, but the Chargers are notoriously the biggest chokers in the NFL come playoffs. And that's hilariously true. The Pats don't play well against good teams. I mean, we'll have to wait and see. I think they did have an easy schedule this year. But that's also because, them being as bad as they were last year kind of factored into their playoff or their scheduling this year and just how bad the AFC ended up being as well. But it'll be a good test for them. See if they can win this game, win it convincingly too. And the Chargers, they do choke. I just mentioned it with the Chargers and the Jaguars game, man. I don't know. I mean, obviously there's been bigger football chokes, but that was insane. I think they were up by like 3 touchdowns, and Trevor Lawrence had thrown 4 picks up to the half. That should have been easy. Let's get out of here. That's a win, but it wasn't. Trevor Lawrence and the Jaguars came back. Strange and Myers, the emergence of ETN has been legit. It has. Like I said, man, it's gonna be fun to see. They're a well-sound team, a scary team. It seems like they got that. When a team goes into the playoffs with good vibes, whatever you want to call that, that's what the Jaguars have. They're calm, they're cool, they love each other. It seems very good culture was built over this year. And Cohen's definitely very underrated. I don't hear a lot of people talking about it, man. And I get it. You want to kind of wait to see what happens in the playoffs, but these Jaguar teams have been crazily underperforming the last few years. So we'll see there. But I was a huge San Diego Chargers fan. What was that like? San Diego Chargers. I mean, obviously I remember, Rivers and everything, but I mean, I'm 27, so I lived through it a little bit. But I wonder what the prime of that was like, what it was like getting snatched away. That must suck for people that live in a city and they see their team literally get snatched from them. Like the San Diego Chargers becoming the Los Angeles Chargers, or like the Oakland Raiders becoming the Las Vegas Raiders. It's insane. But yeah, so the Houston Texans and the Pittsburgh Steelers. Listen, I haven't taken a hit of the Benjamin. I haven't, I don't drink. I don't, do drugs, but I do think the winner of the Texans and the Pittsburgh Steelers is going to go all the way. Listen, just hear me out. When I look at the Broncos, the Bills, the Jaguars, the Chargers, and the Patriots, not one of those teams scream dominant. Not one of those teams scream overpowering. Not one of those teams are that. And what it comes down to is that the Texans do have a very legitimate overpowering offense with a guy named C.J. Stroud that leads that team that has seen a lot in his little 3 years of being an NFL quarterback, which is insane. C.J. Stroud is an absolute warrior. I mean, I get earlier this year he said that he already feels old and all this bullshit. Whatever. DeMeco Ryans is the coach, and he's got them clicking. And the Pittsburgh Steelers, Aaron Rodgers with the whole leap, old man smiling for the first time in like 7 years, however long it's been. Um, is that dangerous, man? Like a smiling Aaron Rodgers, like a feel good Aaron Rodgers? Like that, it sounds crazy, but I kind of feel like I can see the Steelers making a little Cinderella run. The last hurrah for Aaron Rodgers, him dumping the rest of what he has left into it. You just never know, man. And I think one of these two teams, whether it be the Texans' generationally great defense or the Steelers on an absolute BS old man, everything he got left run. I mean, like you can even see like Mike Tomlin. I'm not saying he don't care no more, but like you could tell he's just like whatever is gonna happen is whatever is gonna happen, and that's dangerous. That's definitely dangerous to see in the playoffs. But if we go over to the NFC, man, the Rams and the Panthers. Obviously, I think the obvious answer is the Rams, but if this drops and I can call a Panthers upset, I will. Listen, this game, I don't know what it is in my soul, in my spirit, and everything that's inside of me. Something is making me say that the Panthers are going to beat the Rams. And the Rams, I love the Rams. I have no evidence or stats to support the Panthers beating the Rams. It's just one of those weird feelings that I have that I can see Bryce Young and the Panthers with house money, with nothing to prove, just there off of the memes, just there off of just being happy to play football, and they just come out and beat the Rams, who are all stressed out, and that they're coming in, losing some big games. It's just it doesn't feel good. I'm not gonna lie. Bryce Young has had some games this season where it's been like, wow, okay, Bryce Young's he's a baller, and I could see it happening. And yeah, I mean, look, the Panthers, they do stink. And I get it. Like I said, I have no evidence whatsoever, brothers. I have no evidence whatsoever for this claim. I can't tell you what is better about the Panthers than the Rams because I don't think there's anything better. But there's something in this little heart of mine. I saw like a vision. Like it's crazy. I don't know. I think the Panthers can make a run there. Not a run, but like in that game, they can make a run. Then you got the Packers and the Bears. And this is an interesting one. If the Packers were fully healthy, they would probably be the most dangerous team in the playoffs. However, they are not healthy. Jordan Love is not healthy. He's playing, but he's not healthy. They don't have a lot of health going on in there. And the Chicago Bears, they're getting guys back, and they seem pretty healthy. They seem like a cohesive unit. I don't think the Bears will make a deep playoff run, but I do think they'll win this game here. Jordan Love, I never want to count that guy out, but at the end of the day, I just think the odds are stacked against that Packers team a little too much. But this could be a classic Bears choke job, and we would get another meme, and I'm cool with that too. But I do think the Bears are going to win. And shout out to Chicago. The Caleb Williams has been, fantastic, especially in the clutch this year. And that was the thing. A lot of people say, the Bears, they've gotten lucky this year, but people have to understand that the Bears last year were one of the most unluckiest teams that, in NFL history. There was like a stat that was floating around at the end of the game about just how unlucky they were, but they lost a lot of very close games that they have won this year. So I don't think that's luck. I just think that they're working on those situations, and Ben Johnson brought what they need to actually win football games and get Caleb Williams into that mentality that you can win NFL football games. And it's been nice to see their connection and everything. And then at the end of the day, we got the 49ers against the Eagles. And listen, man, again, taking the bias out, I think the Eagles are going to absolutely stomp the 49ers. I think when it comes down to it, the Eagles played very preserved this year. They played they played brand of football that nobody likes. It wasn't pretty. It wasn't cool on the offense. But look, man, winners win. Veterans, at the end of the day, they come out and win. I think the Eagles are just going to take care of business. They're here in the playoffs. I don't see anybody really stopping them, unless maybe they run into like the Rams, or maybe the Seahawks have a good night. But I really do think the Eagles they're going to beat the 49ers soundly. And I think they're going to win their next matchup soundly, and then it'll be a close NFC Championship game. But at the end of the day, when it comes to the Eagles, I think they overpower the 49ers in a lot of things. I think their defense is going to absolutely, again, for the second time in 3 years, I think they are going to overwhelm Brock Purdy. Hopefully he doesn't get injured this time so we can actually get a good matchup out of that. But when it comes to the Eagles, man, and I'm seeing like this weird disrespect for Jalen Hurts out there too. Talking about this and that, and I'm kind of tired of the Jalen Hurts discourse. What happened to just liking the guy that just does what the franchise needs him to do? What happened to liking the guy that's a true leader? What happened to that? I mean, at the end of the day, he came into the league as a late draft pick. Like he wasn't even a first round pick. He was late. I believe in the second, third round. He wasn't even supposed to really be here. He earned his way here. He earned his way in college. He earned his way in the NFL on the Philadelphia Eagles. They've built this team around Jalen Hurts. Like people need to understand what goes into a dynasty. And I'm not saying the Eagles are a dynasty yet, but it's the makings of it, because if the Eagles do win another Super Bowl, we kind of have to start calling it a dynasty with how good that they've been. But it's disrespectful to count out Jalen Hurts, the quarterback Jalen Hurts. I mean, we're talking about a guy that went to the Super Bowl twice and has put on some very, very great clutch performances in the Super Bowl twice. And he doesn't get no flowers for that. He gets no flowers for being a good leader. He has no flowers for turning into the guy that this franchise needed him to be. Like he protects the football. Like he does. Yeah. Okay. Whatever. He doesn't always put up the flashiest games, but and he did it all on his arm this year. They did not call him barely any running plays this year. That would really, have boosted his stats tremendously. Jalen Hurts, he needs a lot more love. He needs a lot more flowers. Did he have some bad games? Of course he did. Matt Stafford had some bad games this year. Drake May had some bad games. Dak Prescott had some bad games. Those are your MVP candidates, right? Josh Allen had some bad games. Patrick Mahomes, he was terrible before he got hurt. Lamar Jackson, terrible this year. You know what I'm saying? So I think there's just a bigger spotlight on Jalen Hurts, and I hope he dogs through this playoffs. But we'll see. Yeah, that man single-handedly won me my fantasy football championship. Yeah, I mean, Jalen Hurts, it's just what he does. I mean, it's just hating, the quarterback of the franchise that's winning. I think that's just really what it is. And I hope once this is done, people can go back and give him the flowers that he deserves, because you got to understand who Jalen Hurts was. I mean, us Eagles fans, it was kind of frustrating to watch him, earlier on in his career. Didn't look like the makings of what it is now, but he changed himself and he changed how he played. He's become that leader. He's become the guy that everyone wants to run through a wall for. I mean, Jalen Hurts, obviously the Eagles have a very great franchise, but I truly feel if the odds were different, if Jalen Hurts was just on a different team, his talent alone would put him in not a similar spot, but he would still be a fantastic quarterback. I mean, that guy is one of the strongest quarterbacks in the league. He can run and he can throw. It's really just as simple as that. My bad. I rambled on way too long about Jalen Hurts. My apologies. I need some water. Anyone out there got any more questions? Because if not, we're going to rip into some packs, check these NBA scores, and we're going to get on out of here. Love me some water. Oh my God. Throat's a little sore. We recorded 2 podcast episodes today, and then I'm doing this. So yeah. And then if you look in the comments, Paulie is posting a Donovan Mitchell rare NBA Top Shot giveaway. Guys, listen, Top Shot, I don't do NFTs, but I do NBA Top Shot. It's going to be in the Collectin and Connectin Discord happening in a minute. Top Shot is a great app if you're looking to get into NFTs. Because I know like some people like me think of NFTs and they think it's, it's like challenging or it's difficult or it doesn't make any sense. Start with NBA Top Shot. It's interesting. You get to buy packs and they give you moments of players, and then you can sell them, you could trade them, you can do a whole bunch of stuff. So definitely get in there. And then Donovan Mitchell rare, that sounds like it could definitely fetch a good penny. But that'll be happening in the Discord soon. Just give me 1 second here. Yes. And if you guys want to go on X, go to @Collectin, COLLCTN_CONNCTN. You will see exactly how to get into the Discord. Gonna be fun. Let's see. We got 66 people in here. Let's look at the NBA scores real quick, because we've been kind of looking at these tonight, seeing what's going on. I think we got some outcomes now. Clippers dominating the Nets. Let's see what Igor Demon is doing tonight. Okay, he got 13 points, shooting 4 for 9, 3 for 6 from the field. I see it. Not terrible. To be expected. I think he's going to be good. Dang, I didn't know he was only 19. That's impressive. He's young. He's getting it. Igor Demon. Did not think I would be talking about him tonight, or the Brooklyn Nets. So thank you guys for bringing up the Nets. The Grizzlies. Wow. Grizzlies are absolutely beating the Thunder. This is crazy. Jaren Jackson Jr. with 21 and 5. Huh. Being a free throw merchant tonight. So SJ isn't even playing. He is a big deal. It's only Jalen Williams. -17, 11 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists. Why would they just rest him too? All right. So the Hawks and Nuggets got started. The Hawks are up by 2. The Knicks are down by 5 to the Suns. Miles McBride got 7 points in the first quarter. Gotta love that. Can't guard Dylan Brooks, apparently. 11 points in the first quarter. Don't know how we let that happen. The Celtics ended up beating the Toronto Raptors. Jaylen Brown finished nicely. Quickly, he's starting to get up as a point guard, man. He's starting to get this point guard thing down. I know a lot of people down him in that regard, but 13 assists tonight, almost carrying them back into the game. 76ers dominated the man. Well, not dominated. They both stank. It was a stinker. It wasn't even fun. I'm not even going to lie to you. I can't even hype up that game. And the Pelicans, they stopped the Wizards' comeback short. Trey Murphy III with 35 points. His stock just rose tonight. Let's see where he ends up going. All right, we got 67 people in here. All right, so we checked on the scores. Let's open some packs. So I'm going to be opening some absolute football. I went to Target. I just saw what they had. I was thinking about baseball, but right now baseball is not in the least bit popular currently at the moment. So let's open up some football packs right here live. Like I said, anything that I pull that's significant, we'll see. We will give away on the next stream. So let's see here. So we got Trey McBride, Trey Hendrickson. Let's put some cards to the back, the ones that are supposed to be good. Let's see. All right. So we got Trey McBride, Trey Hendrickson, Bucky Irving. I'm disappointed in the Buccaneers, man. I really thought that the Buccaneers would make some noise, but it just really didn't happen, man. Devontae Smith, Joe Mixon, Tua. They went upside down on me. Will Anderson Jr. This seems like a cool card, I think. I don't know. I don't collect football as much as I want to. Bo Nix, that's another nice card there. Derek Harmon, like a little holographic card. Jacoby Myers, Jaden Reed, Brian Thomas Jr., Drake May, cool. Audric Estime, Zay Flowers, Justin Fields, Let's see who we got for the special cards. We got Jake Ferguson, Draft Diamond. Look at that shiny card. There we go. Ever pulled an auto or a relic? Listen, Paulie, the best card that I've pulled, and this is my luck. This is terrible. The best card that I have ever pulled was a Wander Franco 1/1 signature. Um, One of the videos in my personal life that has gone viral is me throwing that into a fire because that I should have sold it when I pulled that card. It was worth money. I held on to it because it seemed like he was getting better, and then we know what happened with that. But definitely pulled a bunch of autos besides him. I have a few. I wish I brought them on stream. They're out there in my case. But yeah, I definitely pulled a few. Hunter Pence comes to mind. Um, Heston Jerstad, um, Carlos Gonzalez. I have a Felix Hernandez, a bunch of national players. Yeah, definitely, definitely the worst. Because I was like that. That was my prideful pull, and it turned it. Yeah, it turned where I mean, hey, OJ Simpson 1/1. Like, listen, I'm not saying I support the guy, but that card would sell today. I have confidence that an OJ Simpson. Well, you know what? Hold on, we might have to. Hold on, let me go on eBay. Let me see if there's any OJ Simpson 1/1s. First thing is lawyer sues for 1.1 million and alleged unpaid fees from OJ Simpson. That's not a good headline. Hold on. OJ Simpson 1/1 autographed signed printing plate. Okay, $171, 285. There's not really. Is there many 1/1s of OJ out there? I don't even know. That's interesting. That was a good call. All right, so we got this shiny Quinn Ewers rookie card. That's cool. Let's see what he can become. I mean, I like the end of his season that he had. I thought he showed some promise for the Dolphins when they benched Tua. Rookie Abdul Carter. I don't know if they said, has he had a disappointing year? I didn't pay too much attention to him, but I know a couple people were complaining about him. I think the big card here, Hog Heaven, tear to tear. I don't know how to pronounce this guy's name. I know he's a good rookie. Don't crucify me. Teteroa McMillan. There we go. Hog Heaven. Is that a big card? Is that for the chat? They call him Tet McMillan. All right, $1.65. I was just kidding. I was absolutely kidding. My fault, Joe. I don't even know what Hog Heaven is. My bad. Wait. Did I find it? Yeah, I did. $2.99, chat. Sorry about that. All right. Second pack. We got 68 live viewers here. I've really been talking for an hour and 8 minutes, man. Crazy stuff here. So here's the second pack. On the Collectin and Connectin Discord, there is a giveaway right now for Donovan Mitchell, rare NBA Top Shot. Make sure you guys download Top Shot. It's a wonderful app. If you're not into EFTs, it's NFTs. It's a good way to get into NFTs. Wow, I'm weak. I can't open this pack of cards. Sorry, y'all. Sometimes you just gotta bite into the. I'm struggling. This is insane. Okay, let's try to open it the other way. My fault, y'all. Over here struggling with a pack of football cards. Okay. All right. Let's do it. So we got cards here. Some upside down. Let's get those to the back. Donovan Mitchell rare being ran on the Collectin and Connectin Discord. Make sure you guys get in there. All right, so we got Christian McCaffrey, Geno Smith. What a terrible year that guy had, Geno, man. Poor Geno. I mean, I don't know what he expected going to Las Vegas, though, but Quentin Johnson, Jamar Chase, Tyreek Hill, Theo Johnson, Jahmyr Gibbs. That's cool. Oh. Is this worth something, chat? Is this worth something, chat? Oh, no, it's just Just a CD Lamb, but his name isn't on there. Oh, it is. Are these cards like you have to like put it in the light just the right way to? Okay. Kendre Miller, Jalen Milroe. We got a nice shiny rookie card for Jalen Milroe here. Trevor Lawrence, we were talking about him a lot earlier. Tony Pollard, Baker Mayfield, Saquon Barkley, Khalil Shakir. Let's see here. We got Texas two-step. The Texans rookie premiere. Okay, that was the big card in the pack. And then we got rookie wave, another McMillan rookie card. My God, 2 packs, 2 McMillan inserts. Is anyone out there a Panthers fan? That's insane. 2 McMillan inserts. What is going on here? Can we get a McMillan auto? That would be fun to give away. And then, hey, we got a Shador card. That's what's up. Shador rookie card. It's like having a brawny rookie card. All right. Last pack here. And we're going to get on out of here. We're up to 68 viewers. Can we get to 69 viewers before we get out of here? Hey, 69 viewers. Let's go, gang. All right. So let's get some of these cards to the back. All right. So we got another Trevor Lawrence, another Tony Pollard, Michael Pittman Jr., Dak Prescott. Big fan of Dak. Even though I'm an Eagles fan, I love me some Dak Prescott. C.J. Stroud, Nico Collins, C.D. Lamb again. These no-name card. Garrett Wilson. I think that's David Njoku, John Day Barron, Oluwafemi Oladipo for the Titans. Hopefully I got that right. Another C.D. Lamb. I think I got like 5 of him now. Kendre Miller, Aaron Jones, J.J. McCarthy, Matt Stafford, Michael Penix Jr., and then let's see what we got here. Draft Diamonds, Yaya Diaby. I'll say, man, card art has come a long way. I love it. And then we got Hog Heaven, Aaron Jones. Hog Heaven. That's a crazy name for a card. And then we got like a shiny, Ashton GNT rookie card. I don't know if we got enough here for an actual entertaining giveaway, so maybe I'll just pull packs again the next time that we stream. But yeah, that might be the conclusion of the episode. That's kind of all that I had. Is there anything interesting going on in the NBA? Does anybody have any questions? Anyone want to talk about anything? Who is out there? We got 68 people. We did have 69 at one point. We ain't taking that away. We ain't taking away what we accomplished here tonight, chat. All right. So, in the NBA, there's not too much anything exciting going on right now. Miles McBride still leads the Knicks with 10 points. Karl Anthony Towns putting up another stinker. Here we go. Another stinker from Karl Anthony Towns. He hasn't scored yet in the 8 minutes that he's played. Mikal Bridges only with, 1 field goal attempted. But yeah, so make sure you guys go out there and go to the Collectin and Connectin Discord. And make sure that you guys go join that giveaway for the Donovan Mitchell rare that's out right now. Make sure you guys subscribe to Collectin and Connectin. Like I said, it's been a great opportunity for a lot of us. Thank you, Paulie, for that. And yeah, make sure, you guys have a good day, night, wherever you are. This was a different conversation hosting tonight's live of Collectin and Connectin. I will see you guys next time. Peace out.